King George and Culpeper tonight. This is a Battlefield District matchup. Culpeper comes in with a record of 2. King George at 3-2. They have a common opponent they've played. If that's any measuring stick or metric stick, they played Cortland. Cortland beat Culpeper 34-0, and King George beat Cortland last week 41-20. So on paper, might not look so good.
I concur. Culpeper's going to have to play a good ball game tonight. They can't get any, they cannot get behind in the down markers. They got to be able to keep getting like 5-6 yards every down. They must play no dumb penalties, and they might be able to play with King George. So King George is not the powerhouse it was last year, went all the way to the state finals or state semis, and they lost. And but majority of their players are gone on to graduation. 2 of them was their star receivers, and one's playing in Maryland, the other one's at Tech.
That would be Mackay White and Shans Wiggins. Steve, why are the Blue Devils kicking off from that left hash mark over here rather than the center of the field?
Looking like they're trying to squib it down there. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, Saul Acevedo kicks off for the Blue Devils, and you're right. Short kick. Fair catch signal taken at the 38-yard line by Siobhan Johnson.
See, to me, starting out the game like that, I know you don't want to give it to their big, deep man who's hard to contain. But now you're giving the King George offense good starting field position right off the bat.
Yeah, 38-yard line will be the starting position for the Foxes. I guess we'll find out tonight if the Foxes are nice or if they're rabid.
Good point.
Yeah, well, the quarterback in this offense is Dylan Koch, K-O-C-H. Dylan Koch wears jersey number 16, and in the backfield oftentimes is Siobhan Johnson. And right now it's Simeon Battle as well, and it is Battle. They fake it to him, they throw short, incomplete, and he had a receiver there. And that was intended for Charles Johnson, and he was open.
He was open, and it was a good thing for Culpeper. The ball was dropped because they had no safety help over there, and that corner was beat, and he could have broke that one off for a long gainer.
Well, Steve, from what you've learned about King George this year, and, of course, the common opponent being Cortland, what must the Blue Devils do early on to stay in this thing?
They got to play mistake-free football and try to, control the line of scrimmage. That's going to be big for Culpeper.
All right, here's 2nd and 10 for the Foxes. Opening possession. 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Over the middle, this one is caught. Breaking a couple of tackles is that receiver, Charles Johnson. He's coming near side and looking for more. And he gets down to the Blue Devil 15-yard line before he's finally tackled. Looks like coming up on making the stop finally was Garrett Danewood for Culpeper, and the Blue Devils are in trouble early on.
Well, Mark, that was just poor tackling. I mean, you ducking your head, you're not even just flailing your arms out at him, and the running back for King George was able to break it off for a big gain. You got to learn to stick somebody. Now it's just poor tackling on Culpeper's part.
And you said big gain to the tune of 46 yards. Here's a 1st and 10 for the Foxes. They are in the red zone already with 11:31 to play here in this first quarter. Here's Koch throwing again. This one caught near sides. The receiver is number 6, Kamani Carpenter. Let's check the spot where they put the ball down. Looks like about at the 11 or 12. Short pickup, 4 yards on the play. Brings up 2nd and 6 from the 12.
Now we see Culpeper see if they can stiffen up here and force either King George to try a field goal or, they might go for it on 4th down. We'll see.
Well, we've got a couple of tries at it here on 2nd down and about 6. Here's Koch. Looking right, throwing right. He's got his receiver. It's number 6 who wiggles his way into the end zone from 12 yards out. Touchdown, King George. That's the pass from Dylan Koch to receiver Kamani Carpenter, and the Foxes up 6-0, 11-17. Only took them 43 seconds.
Yeah, on that play, Mark, the receiver was the inside receiver, and he's able to come back and then scoot the remaining yards in for a touchdown without being touched by one single Blue Devil player.
All right, well, here the holder is Jordan Washington, for the kicker, Christian Newsom. high snap. They're going to have to try to go for this two-pointer here. He throws it. This one's going to be intercepted, and that's going to be that two-point try will be foiled. But 4 plays and 62 yards, and they consumed just 43 seconds of the clock to score against the Blue Devils here in this opening possession.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier, Mark. The Blue Devils cannot let that happen. They got to play a lot better on defense than they just did in that series. I mean, they just got lit up in 43 seconds. So Coach Sherry's got to get some motivation in them boys and see what we can do now offensively.
Well, did you know that localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically? Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com. Well, Steve Peacock, Johnny Krawchuk, and I, Mark O'Connell, here on behalf of the Culpeper Media Network. We are at King George High School, home of the Foxes, and we've been here before. Great place to call a game, Steve.
Sure is. I mean, beautiful stadium, nice turf field. No excuses for a floppy field tonight, that's for sure.
Not only that, no excuses for me not being able to see.
True, too.
If you can't see what's going on here, well, you probably need to have your eyes checked, right?
Exactly. Even I can see, and sometimes I'm blind as a bat.
Well, what if you're blind in one eye and can't see out of the other? Then what do you do?
Good point, punt.
Well, you're not going to be calling 20 games. Oh, man. All right, well, Christian Newsom will be kicking off for King George.
We'll see what Culpeper has in store.
All right, here's Newsom's kick. Short when they have a whistle. Is this going to be an offsides against King George? What's going on?
It's going to be an offsides. King George got there before the ball. Kicker's got to hit the ball first.
Well, your players get a little antsy out there. They want to get right into that play, don't they?
Well, you got to understand that once that kick is made, it's a live ball. And they're trying to pooch it in there, now, Culpeper would do good to move up and make sure. But now, watch out here. He doesn't boom it over their head. Because if it even goes over, you better get back to grab it.
But isn't it fair to say that it's not really a live ball until it goes 10 yards?
Yep.
Right, then it's a live ball up for grabs. Right, so let's see what Newsom here does after the 5-yard penalty. They'll kick off now from the 35. So if you're just tuning in, King George had the opening possession from its own 38-yard line, and 4 plays, 62 yards later, in 43 seconds, they had a 6-yard touchdown. 12-yard touchdown pass from Dylan Koch to the receiver, Kamani Carpenter. All right, this one is going to be returned. This is number 5 for Culpeper, Steve. That is J.Q. Williams.
And J.Q. was running the wrong way. King George did a good job of just stringing it out. And basically he was running lateral and not making any headway. He would better off just to fair caught that and let the offense go. He would have been up around the 30, 35.
Well, I know it's irrelevant, but I really do like these uniforms the Blue Devils are wearing. They look really sharp.
Yep, all white. At least you can see the numbers, too.
And for us, it's pretty helpful, isn't it?
And King George wears blue and gold as well.
Mm-hmm.
More of a royal blue.
Right.
Stafford wears those colors, too.
They sure do. Stafford Indians, blue and gold. All right, here are the Blue Devils on offense for the first time here, and Jeremiah Johnson swings it near side to Garrett Damewood. Damewood gets across the 30, out to about the 31 or 32, making the tackle for King George, number 20, Jacob Plew.
And King George's defense is going to fly the football. They're going to try to get some pressure on the quarterback, set that edge, and that's what they're going to try to do. So I'm thinking some slant passes, inside counter plays will be good against this defense. Let's see what Coach Sherry and the staff dial up here.
Well, let's check and see who's in the backfield, too. I'm seeing number 25, Caleb Jenkins, back there with Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback, of course. And another running back, let's see, that is Caleb Green, number 3. And Caleb Green tripped up before he can really get started. He got to about the 34. That's a gain of 2, and going to bring up 3rd down and 6.
Yeah, on that nice run, Caleb looked like he had the corner, but then the King George defender came out of nowhere. That's their speed. You got to understand, Culpeper's got to realize that.
And my mistake is actually 3rd and 4. They need to get to the 38 to move the sticks and keep possession. Well, the Blue Devils send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. There's Jeremiah Johnson, rolls to his right, looks downfield, throws on the run. This one incomplete over the outstretched hands of number 2, Garrett Damewood, and that means 4th down coming up, and we expect the punting team.
Well, he had another receiver way down the field with nobody covering, but he couldn't get the ball to him. That was number 15 that was open for Culpeper.
Well, that's Dalton Butler. Well, are they going to punt it? They don't line up like they're going to.
I'll see if they'll try to see if they can draw King George off sides.
Yeah. Jeremiah Johnson's the quarterback. It's 4th and 4 from the 34. 9:38 to play. He's going to kick it. This is going to be blocked. And it's going to be fielded inside the 40-yard line by King George. That was a quick kick. That Johnson didn't have enough barrier between him and the line, did he?
No, Mark. Let's go to replay and let me show you why this is a poor quick kick. If you're going to quick kick the ball, you're going to be back up a little bit further. You don't get right there. And I mean, he was in shotgun. I get that, but he went forward and kicked it right into the backside of a King George lineman. If you're going to quick kick, you take a couple steps back, then kick it. There wasn't any pressure on him, so that was a big mistake for Culpeper.
Well, and that hurts them because now King George, which is up 6-0 with 9:30 to play in this first quarter, excellent field position at the Blue Devil 37. All right, Dylan Koch handing off. Ball carrier Simeon Battle left side down to about the 30. A pickup about 7 yards on first down. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. 9:07 to play, first quarter action here at King George High School. And the hometown Foxes are currently up 6-0, and they have a second down and about 3 here at the Blue Devil 30. Dylan Koch, number 16, is the quarterback. Back there was Simeon Battle. Battle, the ball carrier, straight ahead, breaks a tackle, makes a cut. Now there's a race going on, and Kayla Green stops him after he got inside the Blue Devil 15-yard line.
Yeah, he was taken off, Mark. He got to the second level right there. Good blocking up front by King George. And basically, he had a huge lane to run in. Good tackle, though, by Caleb Green to stop him where he would have been 6.
16-yard pickup for Simeon Battle. And a first down for the Foxes at the Blue Devil 14. All right, now Dylan Koch, the quarterback, has Simeon Battle behind him. 3 receivers to the left, rather. Battle again up the middle. Running hard and a little extra effort there. Got down to about the 2-yard line, and he was tackled by Tyler McKnight. Well, that's a first down, Steve. That'll be a 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
Well, King George will make it look too easy, Mark, right now. I mean, the defensive line there for Culpeper is going to either have to tighten down their splits a little bit and, play a little bit more bunched at the front, at the defensive line instead of all that space out, because what's happening is King George is hitting a natural hole.
And in the backfield this time is running back Charles Johnson with his quarterback. Johnson gets the call, and Johnson is in from 2 yards out. Touchdown, King George. This one comes with 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play here in the first quarter. 12-0. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673. And now Mr. Newsom, Christian Newsom, on for the point after. The last time had a bad snap. This time they get it down, and Newsom's kick is up and good. All right, so 13-0 our score. Steve, I think one of the things you've said that's really poignant here is that King George's offense making it look too easy.
They are. I mean, it's just they're playing pitch, catch, and run. That's all they're doing. And Culpeper is trying to do too many arm tackles, and they look like they're not hitting their spaces right. In other words, assignment football, when you see the quarterback, he's doing that RPO, run-pass option. He's giving that handoff to the back late. you got to still maintain a presence in that hole, and there's nobody there. To me, the Blue Devil defense is not playing attack mode; they're playing to retreat mode.
Yeah. Well, already, I know it's cliche, but already the Blue Devils are digging themselves a hole. It's going to be hard to come out of that if they can't figure out some way to sort of stem this offensive attack by King George. And, of course, they've got to get their offense untracked as well.
Yeah, and then, like I said, in Culpeper's roster, I don't know if it's me, Mark, but every game we've been doing Culpeper, it looks like the roster's getting smaller and smaller.
Well, I don't know if the roster's smaller or if the actual number of players suited up is smaller, and I think that's what you were alluding to.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, here is Christian Newsom and his kick. This one's going to be a short one. Better get on it. It's fielded in about the 35-yard line. And about a 4-yard return for the return man there. That was number 12, Jaden Carter for Culpeper. Well, they've got better field position this time around. This will be Culpeper's second possession, and they started the first one on their own 28. They were 3 and out, and then ended up punting, and their punt was blocked. And that spelled trouble for them. So better field position now for this Blue Devil offense.
Yeah, let's see what they can do with it here. I think they got to go to a passing attack, Mark, because King George is really dominating up front.
Man in motion is Damewood straight ahead. This is the ball carrier. It looked like number 25.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah.
25, Caleb Jenkins. And he'll pick up perhaps a yard on the play, and that's it.
The big difference between their King George running back and our running backs, quick first step. That King George running back's got that explosive first step, which already has enabled him to get 2 or 3 yards already just by his quickness. Culpeper, I don't see anybody has that quickness in the backfield.
Well, you're talking about how important it is for them to establish a passing game for sure. The Blue Devils, that is.
Yeah.
Right here, 2nd and 9. Johnson in the pitch. This is Caleb Green looking for a little running room. He won't find any. He's going to be tackled for a loss there by number 0, Charles Johnson. All right. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right. You can see the score. You see the time. We've got 3rd and 14 now coming up for the Blue Devils.
Well, Mark, on that previous play, Caleb Green didn't do anything wrong, and he had no blockers there. Nobody. And
I mean, you almost have to be like Barry Sanders to make something out of that, Steve.
Exactly.
Here's Johnson throwing downfield. He had a receiver out there overthrow him, intended for Garrett Damewood in one-on-one coverage, and now we'll have a 4th down and an obvious punting situation.
Yeah, I would think Culpeper is going to at least punt here.
Well, I haven't seen, have you seen Riley Vineyard in the backfield yet?
Nope.
I have not either. And you mentioned him on the way down here because you were talking about the area leaders.
Right.
And he's the one who appears as one of the area leaders in rushing.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm wondering if he might be injured because I don't even see him suited up.
I mean, he's really been one of their mainstays, hasn't he?
Yep.
And just a really tough performer. We got probably an offsides here against King George. But, Steve, if they mark off 5 yards, it'll still make it 4th and 9.
Yep. Yeah.
And this is I think, just our second penalty. And no question about how that was going to work.
Well, I mean, it gives them now 4th and 9. Are they still going to go for it or they're going to punt? No.
Oh, I think he had. Well, you wouldn't go for it here, would you?
It's too early in the game. I mean, you're still only down 13-0.
Yeah.
But no, it looks like they're going for it. Watch again for that quick kick.
Could be a quick kick. Jeremiah Johnson back there. That's what he tried last time. Well, he got a little bit of movement there. I didn't see a flag come down. Much better kick this time. It wasn't blocked. And it takes the Blue Devil roll. It's going to go out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. So this will be the worst field position the Foxes have had this evening. They're up 13-0.
Yeah, but it looks like, he looked like somebody in Culpeper jumped, but the official didn't throw the flag.
Well, and see, that's what I was seeing. And they let this go. But a nice kick by Johnson gets that ball down inside the 20-yard line. So for your defense, Steve, you're not immediately putting them on their heels by giving up great field position.
Well, I think Riley Vineyard, is he wearing number 34?
34.
Okay,
Yeah, he's in there. Well, you're right. He is in there in the defense.
Right.
Haven't used him offensively yet. He's been really a kind of guy who can pick up some tough yards for you. I guess they have to sort of pace him, don't they?
Exactly. You're right.
King George on its own 19. Here's Koch handing off. Ball carrier, left side, straight ahead. He is in the secondary. It's a foot race for Simeon Battle, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to catch him. Might as well look for some laundry and hope for that. And if you don't see anyone, it's an 81-yard touchdown run by Simeon Battle. And, Steve, you're going back to what you said. That just looked way too easy.
Yep, way too easy and too much speed. I mean, Kayla Green couldn't run him down. Also, number 2 for us couldn't run him down. And he just takes off, and that's that speed. Speed kills, and now they're, like I said, this is going to be a long game.
Well, Steve, as you pointed out, it's that initial contact that's so important if you're going to slow the guy down. But he really never got touched, did he?
Never got touched.
Point after by Newsom is good.
Because what there was just an inside counter, a little delay, and the defense for Culpeper was running right up past him. He had a hole. He could have drove 5 semi-trucks through.
81-yard touchdown run by Simeon Battle. King George's 3rd touchdown of this first quarter, and our score is 20-0. And Culpeper's in a little bit of trouble right here.
Yeah, they are, and they're way overmatched, Mark. And and King George doesn't have that much. They're not the explosive team they were last year, but they've still got enough athletes that can do the job, and they're proving it right here.
Well, so we have 5 minutes and 51 seconds to play here in this first quarter between two Battlefield District rivals, King George and Culpeper, and it's been all Foxes here, and we're really just past the midway point in this first quarter. It's already 20-0.
Yeah, the Blue Devils, I just don't want to see them hanging their head. They just got to still play football.
All right, Christian Newsom, that leg of his is getting an early workout in this game. We'll be kicking off once again. Blue Devils need a little bit of a spark, Steve. Maybe it'll come by way of special teams. Who knows? Here's the kick. It's a short one. This one should be fielded. Oh, they're having a hard time with it. The ball is loose, and it looks like King George has it, and they sure do. Coming away with it is number 1, Siobhan Johnson. Wow.
Go to replay on that. You hate to see it, but right there, the Culpeper player is just kind of standing there with no sense of urgency to get on that ball. King George is hustling, and they just out-hustled Culpeper for that one. That is just lack of effort right there. Hate to say that, but that's exactly what it was.
Well, you're right. When you look at that, the ball is loose, live and it's free. It really does create a sense of urgency. Well, it looks like we have a timeout on the field, and I'll tell you that our timeout sponsor is UBA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. That's UBAcreditunion.org. Well, the clock, we've got 5:47 to play in this first quarter. It's been all Foxes, and right now, after that miscue on the kickoff, King George back in position to do more damage.
Mark, if I was Coach Sherry, I'd be challenging my team. I'd be laying down the gauntlet. Guys, if you're not going to play, you're all going to come off here. I'll put all substitutes in. I mean, I'd be going all out. Because right now, what I'm seeing in Culpeper is I'm seeing really no effort and just kind of, laissez-faire, as they say, and where King George's got the hammer down.
Well, they really do, and they have showcased early on this speed element that they have. That 81-yard run by Simeon Battle, wow, that was something. Well, now, the quarterback here, Dylan Koch, back there, empty backfield as the Foxes take over at the Blue Devil 21, and Koch is going to throw, and he's got a receiver here. This man is headed to the end zone. It's Gunnar Rieger, and it's 26-0 in favor of King George.
Now, again, too easy. And all that is a little wheel route. The back, it's not even, it's almost like a handoff. It's like he just pitches out there about 4 or 5 yards, and he's already got 2 or 3 blockers in front of him, and there was nobody from Culpeper's side to even stop him.
Jordan Washington will hold for Christian Newsom. who looks to make it a 27-0 game. Whoop, ball got past the holder, and then he's going to try to pounce on it, and that's where the play will die. But 26-0 our score, and once again, we're only in the first quarter. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Well, we're here at King George tonight, Culpeper Media Network, and our other team, the Cyclones, they're in action tonight, playing down at Maury Stadium, James Monroe High School, against the Yellow Jackets. And I don't think James Monroe's having a very good year, Steve.
No, they're not. They're weak this year as well. Spotsylvania's not having the year that I thought they're going to have.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, and Chancellor's bad, and Culpeper's not looking too good either. So.
Well, JM played King George back on September 27, and King George won that one 50-0.
50-0.
Yeah.
Well, this is looking fast becoming because, in the second half, if they're up 35, it's a running clock.
Yeah, it really is. Well, hate to see it come to that, but there's nothing anyone can do for them. You got to get out there and play. And they certainly are playing a team that has its share of speed, no doubt about that.
I mean, you're not telling the boys they can't play football if you're King George.
Right.
The ultimate sign of respect is keep pounding. They're going to have to put their big boy pants on, Culpeper is, if they want to get in the game.
All right, here's Newsom's kick. This is going to back the return man up to the 15-yard line, and straight ahead he goes. And they're trying to strip him of it, and it looks like he held on. That's number 16 for Culpeper. That's Tyler Clablaw.
Well, he just gave him the best field position they've had all night.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually really good field position for the Blue Devils, but that's a good starting point. But, Steve, they haven't put anything together yet.
No, that's what they have to do and see if they can, keep their offense and keep their defense off the field because the defense is getting worn out.
And that does, fatigue really does become a factor, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Okay, I believe it looks like Riley Vineyard's in the backfield now. Or is it? Can you see?
Yeah, it's Vineyard.
Okay, that's Damewood in motion. They fake it to Vineyard and they toss it to Damewood, and Damewood picks up some nice yardage. Their biggest gain of the night. He picked up 11 yards and really the first Blue Devil first down.
And see, that was a good play call right there. A little option play. Had King George a little bit confused and able to get the edge. And then Culpeper was able to, pick up good yardage now for their first down of the night.
Yeah, all the way down to the King George 46. So 11-yard pickup. Damewood. First down, Blue Devils. Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback. Riley Vineyard back there. We expect he'll have his share of carries. And here's the first one off the left side. He stiff arms the first defender, makes a nice cut, still on his feet. And they have to gang tackle him down near the King George 25-yard line. Back-to-back good plays for Culpeper. That's a little bit of life injected into him there.
Let's go to the replay right there.
Yeah.
And this is all Riley Vineyard. He's able to hit that hole, and he's very compact, low to the ground. He's a football player, and he's just tough, stiff-armed the King George defender. So now let's see if Culpeper can tack on some points here.
And, Steve, isn't that where it all begins for a running back? You got to make that first guy miss.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're not going anywhere, right?
No.
Yeah, Vineyard did a nice job with that. 21 yards on the pickup, high snap. Oh, wow, we got to have a face mask on that. Steve, number 1 is Riley Lentz.
Yeah.
So
Lentz is in there at quarterback?
Yeah, number 1, Riley Lentz, not Jeremiah Johnson.
Well, there's going to be
at least not on that play.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a horse collar tackle against King George, personal foul. So attack on 15.
I don't know if you got the face mask. Either way, it's a personal foul. 59.
What is it?
It sounds like he may have a phone call.
Yeah.
Hollywood calling. Personal foul, face mask against the Foxes. Now they start walking it off. All the way down to the 19-yard line. All right, so jersey number 1, that's Riley Lentz, is the quarterback. Riley Vineyard next to him. All right, here's Lentz, going to keep it. Try to make a cut. They tackle him out to 15. 4-yard pickup by the quarterback there. Bring up 2nd and 6.
Yep, sorry, but a little bit of interruption there, but wonder why Lentz now looks like Johnson's coming back in. No, Lentz still staying in there.
Well, your guess is as good as mine. Clock running, you see it there, and you see the score. That is accurate. So it is number 1, Riley Lentz, the quarterback, Riley Vineyard behind him. And it looks like Vineyard gets the call. Straight ahead he goes, and not much doing there. Is that defensive line didn't want to budge much.
Well, it looks like Coach Sherry got the message to his offense a little bit, where I said he got to, make a stand here a little bit. Challenge the team.
Well, it's 3rd down and 1 for the Blue Devils from the 16-yard line. So this is an opportunity for them to put some points on the scoreboard if they can keep control. 1 yard will give them a new set of downs. Here it is. That's Danewood in motion. He gets the pitch. Here's Danewood to the outside. He'll have a Blue Devil first down. And so Blue Devils showing some life here on this possession.
Yeah, they are. And I'm looking across the sidelines. It looks like Jeremiah Johnson might be injured because he's over there with the training staff with Henry Wolf across the way. So we're looking after him.
All right, 1st down and 10 Blue Devils from the Foxes' 12-yard line. You see the clock and you see the score here in this first quarter. Blue Devils looking to get on the scoreboard. Riley Lentz in the backfield as the quarterback with Riley Vineyard behind him. So a pair of Rileys, and this is Vineyard on the ball on the carry. He gets inside the 10 to the 9.
And I would just keep pounding it, Mark, pounding it with Vineyard right on in there.
Coming up the bottom of that heap, making the tackle was Alex Guttridge for King George.
You're definitely in 4-down territory here for the Blue Devils. So play mistake-free football here.
Yep, you'd be thinking purely touchdowns from this point on. Danewood again in motion. They give it to Vineyard. Vineyard trying to get the edge, can't do it. Good pursuit out there by King George. Couple of players in on the tackle, including Gunnar Rieger and Bentley Wheeler. Almost rhymed, didn't it?
Yeah.
Gunnar Rieger and Bentley Wheeler.
A big 3rd down here, Mark.
It is. And you said 2-down territory, Steve, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Riley Vineyard, as tough as he is, was held to a yard gain on that play.
Yeah, 3's not going to help you here.
No.
But it's important for them to come back and score and not be.
All right, here it is. Back to the action. This is Lentz on the quarterback keeper off that option. He decided to keep it. He got inside the 5-yard line down to about the 4.
And it's still going to be 4th down. Look, it's about a 4th and maybe a long yard.
Yeah, it looks like they about 2 yards here. So what do? You go Vineyard here or what?
Yeah, you got to go with your power and just tell the offensive line, just get a hat on somebody. We're going to push it forward and let Vineyard get that tough 2 yards.
Well, you've got Caleb Green in there. You've got number 15. That's Dalton Butler. Danewood is usually in the mix. Going to the top of your screen, Tyler Clablaw. Let's see what they dial up here. This is 4th and 2. Here's Lentz. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be dropped for a loss, and they have to turn it over on downs there. Making the tackle, big number 71, Jack Shelton.
I get the idea, wanting to make kind of spread King George out and have the running back, Vineyard as your option guy, but Lentz just wasn't fast enough getting out to that edge, and King George make a hell of a play.
All right, well, King George takes over on downs, and that was a missed opportunity for the Blue Devils. They had great field position when they started this drive from their own 43.
Well,
and about 10 plays later, they'd moved it down to the 4, only to be turned back.
Well, that proves they can move on them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can. So it's just, I think Coach Sherry challenged them because they were being whooped.
All right, so King George taking over on its own 7. Here's Koch throwing downfield. Watch out!
It's pretty. I know it's not a Culpeper relay, but watch this. Perfect pass. The King George receiver just runs right under it. It's probably a record 93-yard bomb.
Yep.
And, you know, Caleb Green, nobody catch him. He's gone.
Well, you know, Steve, the receiver had a step on the defender, and the quarterback, Dylan Koch, threw it right, caught him in stride.
Caught him right in stride.
And then he caught it, and then, of course, with the speed, it's a foot race, and that's where you've said, you know, you've given the edge to this King George team. 32-0 here with 2:08 with 20 seconds to play in this first quarter. Newsom's point after clears the crossbar, and it's 33-0. Well, what were you saying about a continuously running clock in the second half?
Second half.
It almost looks inevitable, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's 20 seconds left in the first quarter.
Wow.
So they've scored 33 points in almost 12 minutes.
I say, wow, exclamation mark.
Slim bing ding ding bing.
Well, maybe the Cyclones are doing much better than the Blue Devils tonight, Steve. We certainly hope so.
We hope so.
But, you know, King George came in tonight's game 3-2. They opened the season on August 30. They lost to Brook Point 36-33. And I want to mention that game, Steve, because with Brook Point, King George and Eastern View have a common opponent. So you see a close score between King George and Brook Point. It was a close game between Brook Point and Eastern View. Mm-hmm. They're back to that, using that same metric. We expect that when King George and Eastern View play each other this year, we expect a tough battle. We got a few games to go before we get there. Eastern View plays King George on October 25th. But that's been a showdown of sorts the last few seasons, hasn't it?
It's been between Eastern View and King George, and Eastern View owes King George, since King George will be coming to the Eastern View this time.
Mm-hmm. You know, we'll see the Foxes at Cyclone Stadium. No, actually, Steve, that game's here.
Oh, okay.
It says away, October 25. Yeah. Here's the kick, straight ahead, fielded at the 11-yard line. And looks like the return man there was it number 10, Malachi Brock?
Mm-hmm.
Number 16. Yeah. But in any event, average field position for the Blue Devils here late in this first quarter, trailing 33-0. It's been a tough one.
And it looks like number 4, Jeremiah, is back in at quarterback. He must have got shaken up.
So, but you see, though, that the Blue Devils have a pretty capable backup in this Riley Lentz, don't
they? They sure do.
All right, Johnson back in there, jersey number 4. Danewood in motion. And the ball is loose, and it's a fumble on the play. Let's see who's got it. I guess it was, let's see who it was.
25.
25 was the ball carrier,
yeah.
Caleb Jenkins. Blue Devils keep possession.
Hey, Mark, I mean, I know Coach Sherry and the staff are just shaking their heads. What have we run into?
Well, right now, we've got the end of the first quarter with our score. King George 33, Culpeper nothing. We'll take a quick break and come back for the start of the second quarter after this. Stay tuned. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF.
Just starting the second quarter here at King George High.
And you can just see the King George's defense, they smell blood, Mark. I mean, they're
Well, let's see, they've marked it now at the 23. And the Blue Devils have to get to the 41. That's 18 yards for a first down here on second down. Ball carrier straight ahead. And Caleb Green got across the 25 to the 27. That's about 4 yards. So got third and long coming up here.
Well, I'm thinking, the Culpeper's got to really basically start doing a short passing game, open and make those linebackers, come and guard somebody coming across on a slant. Right now, Culpeper's having a tough time moving the ball because King George is playing gap football, number one. They've got their gaps covered, and they're also, with their Culpeper's showing no threat to throw it.
Charlie Holland, top of your screen. Here's 3rd and 15. Johnson going to air it out near sidelines. This one's caught. Nicely done. And had he stayed in bounds there, Dalton Butler might have been headed to the end zone.
Well, let's go to replay on that. That was another good pass by Jeremiah Johnson. Right. And he was right there for the Culpeper receiver, Butler, to be able to pick up that big gainer and first down. But you're right. If he hadn't stepped out of bounds, he could have been gone.
Well, that's 36 yards on the pass play. Biggest play of the night for the Blue Devils on offense.
See if they can keep it going.
Down to the King George 37-yard line. Opening minutes here this second quarter. It's been all Foxes so far. Top of your screen, number 20, Richard Cannon, wide receiver. Johnson, the quarterback. Hands off. And I believe this was Caleb Jenkins. Not much doing there. Well, localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com.
And big number 6 for Culpeper comes in for 16.
6? Oh, Jossie Shiflett, yeah.
Yep. It's going to be a pass.
First time we've called his name tonight. He's in there, right?
Yep. He's a good receiver. Caleb Green's a good receiver. Maybe they go for that tight end.
I was going to say they have Jossie Shiflett lined up as a tight end there on the left side.
There's an official delay. Must have been equipment issue.
Jack Lehman headed to the sideline. Coming in, number 58 is Elias Kraushorn. Blue Devils looking at 2nd and 12 from the King George 39. And you can see the score there. Damewood again in motion. This one nearly picked off. It was intended for Jossie Shiflett. We were just talking about him, Steve, trying to get the ball to him. And the defender there timed that one perfectly and almost came up with a theft.
Well, that's where Shiflett's, though, got to take a more inside run there instead of, he fanned it out a little bit too much and allowed that defender to undercut him.
All right, so we have 3rd and 12 for Culpeper from the King George 39. Top of your screen, Richard Cannon, wide receiver. Caleb Green to the right there in the slot. Number 16, Tyler Clablaw. Throwing. This one is picked off. That was pretty much thrown in the same spot. Coming away with it is Owen Price of King George, and he's still on his feet, and they drag him down just shy of that 15-yard line. So another turnover. Well, a turnover that is for the Blue Devils, and King George back in business and already up by 33 points.
It just keeps mounting and mounting right there. It looked like Jeremiah just threw it to King George. he was baiting them. Their defensive player for King George was baiting him all and knew it. And he was watching the quarterback's eyes and just stepped in front. Ball was there.
All the way down to the 16-yard line, and now the King George offense, which has been so far prolific in this first half. Back on the field with quarterback Dylan Koch, and in the backfield with him is Simeon Battle, and he was the guy that had that 81-yard touchdown run earlier in the game. Koch looking near side. You got a receiver. This one's caught. And the receiver there, number 11, Daniel Grigsby, gets inside the 10 to the 9. Pick up 7 yards on the play.
Brought down by number 21, Culpeper.
Tyler McKnight. Thank you, Steve. So Blue Devil defense back on its heels as these Foxes have come out with serious intentions tonight, haven't they?
They sure have. They've come out ready to play. Like I said, they beat Cortland, and Cortland beat us, so.
Yeah. All right, here's Koch throwing. End zone, batted down. Nice coverage out there by number 20. Is that number 20, Richard Cannon?
21, I thought.
See if we can pick up that number. There he is, number 20.
20.
Okay. It's Richard Cannon, a sophomore on the roster.
But there's a flag, an eligible receiver downfield. So Culpeper's going to take this. Gives them replay second down. It's only 5 yard. I would have probably declined and made them go third down.
Well, I think they have to get to the 6 yard line for a first down. So, second down, ball now at the 14 of Culpeper. In that backfield, Simeon Battle, the running back, next to his quarterback, Dylan Koch. To the right there, Daniel Grigsby. And this is going to be Battle, the ball carrier. They're going to wrestle him down. Oh, a penalty flag will come in. Steve, that could be a face mask.
Yep, it looks like it's going to be. Let's see, it's going to be a personal foul against Culpeper, be half the distance.
If that's the call, it certainly looked like a face mask from my vantage point.
Yep. Or a hold, but I didn't see the hold.
All right, well, as they sort this one out, we'll tell you this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
Now, do you have, it's a 15-yard penalty, do you half the distance?
I think it's half the distance, yeah.
Because it's outside the 10.
Mm-hmm.
The ball's on, what, the 13 or yard line?
I think it was the 14 was the line of scrimmage when at the inception of that play.
And after the penalty, that'll move the chains
to the 7. That's half the distance. There you go.
So I'll give him a first down now.
On the Blue Devils 6.
All right, so that'll be first and goal from the 7. Well, King George knocking at the door again. Here is Dylan Koch, the quarterback. He's going to throw. He's got a receiver open, and making the diving catch is number 2, Gunnar Rieger, his second touchdown of the night, and that makes it 39-0 with 8:28 to play here in this second quarter.
Yeah, I kind of, maybe thought he had hit the ground. The ball might have hit the ground, but the official is saying it's not, so touchdown will stand.
Steve, I think this Dylan Koch can throw it with accuracy, short range and long range.
He can. He's a good quarterback.
Well,
he's getting his time to shine now.
He sure is. Christian Newsom has had a pretty good workout tonight himself. This kick must have been blocked because it was short. Somebody got their hand on it. I don't think that's going to hurt King George in the scheme of things.
No.
It's 39-0 with 8:29 to play here in this first half. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673. Well, I'd like to give you a score on that Eastern View game. I don't have one yet.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
They're on Eastern View.
Now, where's my buddy Dave Richardson when he's usually sending me messages?
Right.
Great guy that he is.
Maybe he's listening. Maybe he'll try to send it.
Well, if he's listening,
Or
Dave,
watching.
I'm talking to you. Somebody else can send us an Eastern View
Score
score.
update.
Yeah.
Morris out to send this one.
We'll find out just if anyone's actually listening, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, Christian Newsom has teed it up once again for the Foxes. It's just been really all King George here. There are a couple of bright spots tonight for Culpeper, Steve. I guess it's been on that last possession where they had the long pass to Dalton Butler and a couple, runs by, he had a run by Riley Vineyard and a run by Garrett Damewood. Other than that, they just haven't really been able to put it together offensively. And defensively, well, the score kind of speaks for itself. The return man here is Dalton Butler. He reverses direction and got across the 45-yard line. Pretty good return, so he gives his teammates good field position. That won't be the starting problem for this team on this possession.
It's just that King George has been dominating all facets of the game. Dominating the line of scrimmage, dominating the time of possession, dominating in big plays. The only thing that Culpeper is not, King George is dominating, which is benefiting Culpeper, is the penalty flags.
The department, or the department you don't want to be the leader in, right?
Right.
Yeah, dubious distinction with that. All right, top of your screen this time, number 23, Charlie Holland. And Dalton Butler at the bottom of your screen. Here's the run pass option. They pitch it back to Caleb Green. And he may have picked up a yard or two. There just wasn't much there as the Foxes strung that one out pretty nicely, Steve.
Right. And then that was Lentz is back in at quarterback too, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
So
you're right. Good call. Riley Lentz back there. He has shared that position tonight with Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah is a little bit banged up.
1 yard pickup. Here is 2nd down and 9. You see the clock moving there here in the second quarter. Blue Devils 3 receivers to the left. Here's the pitch, J.Q. Williams. Williams not going anywhere either, as getting good penetration and catching up with that ball carrier there was number 52, Tanner Cook, making the tackle for King George.
I'm seeing what Culpeper was trying to do, but they just don't have the quickness, the speed. King George is really bothering the Blue Devils. So how do you counter that?
I think that King George defenders get to the ball carrier awfully quickly.
Really, they all go to the ball, and that's why you're going to have to do a short passing game, or in order to use that speed against them. But right now, Culpeper's got a long 3rd down here conversion.
They sure do. 3rd and 8 now from the 49. We've got a whistle and stoppage. Let's see if we're going to have a timeout or
an officials issue.
We've got a substitution coming in now.
Yep. If you got an equipment problem or blood showing, they're going to make you get out.
All right, they blow the whistle to say, let's restart this one. On 3rd and 8. Culpeper has it on their own 49. Caleb Green resets, comes this way. Straight ahead's the ball carrier, and that is nets nothing. Ran into a wall of blue jerseys, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
And they're not going to punt this one. They're going to have to go for it. I mean, they're down 39 points.
Well, already at this juncture, if this score were to remain unchanged, you would have a continuously running clock in the second half.
Second half, yep.
We already know that because of 39-point differential. So top of your screen is Charlie Holland, number 23. Dalton Butler, bottom of your screen. And this is Lentz on the rollout. He's looking downfield. This one nearly picked off. Through behind the intended receiver there, Garrett Damewood, and almost coming away with it for another theft was Jacob Plew. But now they turn it over on downs, and King George back on offense.
Well, Mark, that play also is not going to be high percentage play because you're rolling right, you're right-handed, so you're throwing across your body and you're not going to be that accurate that way to the receiver. He'd been better off running it because he had a lot of room open in front of him.
Well, that's a great point. And King George, their offense, they've had quite a workout here tonight and have really showcased what they can do offensively. And I think you pointed out that team speed has really been a huge factor for them tonight.
You know, it's not been often that I say the Culpeper was outmatched, but they were being outmatched and outplayed tonight.
All right, here's Koch, near side. He's got a receiver. This is makes the first man miss, makes a cut, makes the second man miss, and they drag him down inside the 35. That is the receiver, Kamani Carpenter.
And you know why they're getting those big gains? Because Culpeper defenders are dropping their heads. When they go to tackle, they're dropping their head down, and they're trying to flail at them with an arm. That's not going to work. You got to, if you're there, you got to play with your head up and stick them. But that was just poor tackling right there by the Blue Devils.
14-yard pickup, 1st and 10 Foxes at the Blue Devil 35. Dylan Koch, hands off. Ball carrier is Charles Johnson. He picks up a chunk of yardage as well. Got a little, just a tad pushing and shoving out there. No flag coming in.
Little pleasantries.
Well, they want to know how each other are doing, Steve.
Yeah.
How's your health?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything at home? Good?
Yeah, how's the wife doing? Kids doing okay? Yeah.
You look like you've been eating well.
Well, some people have been eating good in the neighborhood, right?
Exactly.
Well, 24-yard line. That's where the ball is now. 1st and 10 for the Foxes. Simeon Battle, dangerous running back, is back there along there with his quarterback, Dylan Koch.
Yeah, Culpeper was showing blitz.
Yeah, they were showing blitz. They backed off, and this is Simeon Battle, the left side. Not a lot there on that game. Big number 77 coming up from that pile up there is for Culpeper. Steve, do you have him?
No, I don't.
We have 77.
We don't have a 77.
Must be one of them switcheroos on us.
The Phantom.
Trying to get over on me, eh?
The Phantom struck again.
Trying to pull the wool over the other.
That's King George. Oh, that's King
No,
George.
that's King George. I don't have him on our Culpeper roster. We'll find out who that is at the break. He's a big guy, though.
Yeah.
Playing over the nose of that football.
That's what I'd be keeping him there. Just say, take up space.
2nd down and 5 here from the 19. Clock running, you can see it there. Koch, he throws. Got his receiver in the backfield. He got away from one of them. Now he's reversing direction, looking for some blocks. Look at these cuts this kid's making, Steve. He's going to end up going in the end zone. That's Kamani Carpenter, and they had a chance to wrap him up for a loss.
Man, what a play. That deserves a replay, too.
Yep.
Look
Gotta
what
see
happened
that
here.
one again.
The receiver, look how he darts in and out. Poor tackling. Culpeper's trying to reach an arm tackle, and he reverses his field and comes right in and then goes into the end zone untouched.
45-0 with 3:36 to play in this second quarter. Long night for the Blue Devils.
It sure is.
And here's Newsom's kick. This one's up and good, so it's 46-0. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons. More than a respected funeral home, they support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. All right, still looking for a score for our...
Yeah, let's see if I got one here.
Okay, here we go. You know, I think Dave Richardson must be listening to the broadcast. Okay, 20-6 in favor of Eastern View. Okay, thank you. And we mentioned that the Cyclones are playing James Monroe tonight down in Fredericksburg. And Steve, Blue Devils aren't having a whole lot of fun out here tonight.
No, they're not. They are not. They're just saying, good night, the party is over. But I tell you.
But, you know, some of the plays that, you know, the Foxes have made look really easy, but then on that last one, Carpenter really should not have gotten to the end zone. He just made too many people miss.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that was just poor display of tackling right there. I mean, how many times did they have a shot at him, couldn't bring him down?
Well, and I have to give him credit. He certainly is elusive. I guess you had to be to make that play happen. This one bobbled and picked up at the 25-yard line. And the return man there is number 24. That's Christian Smith. 4-yard return. Average field position for Culpeper, and they're hurting. And if they feel demoralized, you'd probably understand. Let's see if they can keep their heads up.
Yeah. See, King George is not going to let off the gas. They're going to keep coming after you. You would probably in the late, last quarter or something, you probably see King George, start playing the reserves. But
would you wait that long?
I don't know. I mean, you're getting your offense a good workout. It's just tough to say.
All right, from the 31, that's where the Blue Devils will start. Looking for some life here. Riley Vineyard, the running back. Fake it to him. Here's the pitch on the end around by Garrett Damewood. He made a cut, got across the 35 to the 36. Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5 on its way. This broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200.
Well, and King George defender number 1 stayed home. He read it perfectly, and he made it turn up. His job was to turn it back up inside towards other defenders.
Well, King George playing some very disciplined football out here tonight. Throwing near side. This one dropped, and it was intended for Tyler Clavelo.
And again, he was looking to run before he caught the pass.
Brings up a 3rd and 5. You see the clock, you see the score, and it's for real.
Yeah, there's no errors. It's a big 4-6. I know Culpeper's they're just trying to get the name of the train that just ran over them.
When I say 46, I'd rather be thinking about the 46 defense, Steve.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, named after Doug Plank. All right. Throwing near side. This one caught shy of the 45-yard line. That's number 23, Charlie Holland.
And it's going to be a first down, though.
Wow, nicely done. Holland's first catch of the night gives the Blue Devils a first down. That was a nice throw out there. He threw it right where he needed to.
Yep.
Well, he needed 4 yards. He picked up 8. New set of downs, Blue Devils.
Trying to go hurry up.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah Johnson, the quarterback. Looks to the sideline now. Redirects. He's got Riley Vineyard on his left there. And a first down. All right, here's Johnson. He's going to heave it downfield. There's a receiver out there, but this is thrown just a little bit behind Richard Cannon, and then their defender there, Kamani Carpenter, looks like he batted away. Steve, there's a penalty flag down in that secondary.
Yeah, it's going to be pass interference against King George. And
but, we go back to it not being a spot foul.
No, it's going to be 15-yard.
From the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and, like I said, it was a little bit of interference, but maybe the official felt sorry for Culpeper. I don't know, but it didn't look like much.
I guess that would move it to the King George 45, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Let's see. No, to the 40, I guess it is. There it is there. All right, they mark it off. Well, you figure it's a no-brainer that the Blue Devils would love to get a score here before this intermission.
Yes, I think it's important that they do.
Here's Johnson. Here comes some pressure. He slings it out to Caleb Green. Green made a nice catch, but he was immediately tackled by Siobhan Johnson, number 1.
And you see the difference between the King George defenders and Culpeper. King George defenders, if even in one-on-one situations, are making the tackle. They're wrapping it up.
Mm-hmm.
They're not dropping their head.
Yeah, and you're getting some good solo tackles, aren't you?
Yes, and they're playing sound football. I'm not trying to pump up King George. Lord knows they're up 46-0,
But you got to give credit where it's due. 2nd and 7 here. Here's Johnson throwing. Near side, had a receiver. It was Holland. unable to haul it in. He knows it.
Yep.
He had a chance, and just the way it goes. So
He heard
bring up third down.
footsteps is what he heard.
And can you hear them on that turf, Steve?
Oh, you can probably at a glimpse of your eye, you're saying, "Uh-oh, this thing is coming quick."
Well, it's like your peripheral vision doesn't fail you,
Right,
does it?
It doesn't.
You know what's coming your way. Yeah.
It's like the.
Uh-oh.
It's like you're up on the railroad tracks as young boys, and you're walking off sudden trains coming down the other side. Rut
Row, George Jetson.
row.
Third down and 7 from the 37. A minute 33 to play here in this first half. All right, here's Johnson. He's got time. He's throwing downfield. This one nearly picked off, and the defender was in much better position to make this catch than the intended receiver, Dalton Butler.
And see, Jeremiah, he's got a good arm, but he puts way too much air under that ball. He's got to throw it more of a, don't give it such a high pitch because it's enabling the defenders to come running right under it.
All right, so 4th down and 7. Obviously, the Blue Devils go for it here. They have the ball at the King George 37. Minute 23 rather to play here in this first half. Here's the call. Johnson, play fake. Now he throws over the middle, and he threw that one, and here comes a penalty flag in. That was intended, I believe, for Richard Cannon, and the defenders had double coverage out there, and they threw a flag. What did you see, Steve?
I did a little bit of premature contact before the ball got there. So it's going to be pass interference, another 15 yards. So, hey, maybe Culpeper might get King George being some generous right now.
Well, they're certainly moving in the right direction toward that intended target, and that's the end zone. It is pass interference. Now they'll mark it off. Here it comes the mark off of 15 yards. They're getting closer to their goal.
Yep.
From all the way down to the 22.
Now see if Culpeper can punch it in here before at least get some points.
Yeah, you got to have something to, cheer about. And getting some points is a good way to do that. Well, they have a 1st and 10 now at the King George 21. And Jeremiah Johnson will pitch it to Caleb Green. He gets to the outside, makes a cut, and gets down to the 15. So give Caleb Green 7 yards on the carry, and that was pretty good footwork by the Blue Devil player.
Yeah, it sure was. Good run. And, the thing is, right now, is the Culpeper will take anything they can get. And see, King George is going to want to keep him out of that end zone.
2nd down and 3. Riley Vineyard, the ball carrier, fighting for yards. He broke through a tackle, and he'll get a 1st down. He got inside that 10, down to the 9. That'll be 1st and goal from that spot.
Good, tough running right there by Riley Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to bring him down with an arm tackle. You're going to have to wrap him up.
Well, he seems to have this determination that says, the first guy who hits me is not bringing me down.
Exactly.
You're going to have to bring some more with you. And he broke through that first tackle, and that really enabled him to get that 1st down yardage, didn't it, Steve?
Mm-hmm. So timeout, Culpeper.
Well, timeout taken by Culpeper, and we'll tell you that our timeout sponsor is UVA Community Credit Union, strengthening the financial health of our members and of the Culpeper community. UVACreditUnion.org. I want to thank each and every one of our sponsors, Steve, localsportshistory.com, Able Heating and Air, Battlefield Automotive, Found & Sons, CFC Farm and Home Center, and UVA Community Credit Union. And now you're looking at the Blue Devil offensive team getting some instructions over there and maybe some words of encouragement.
Well, you got 39 seconds, so you got to be aware of the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to try to run it in, and I think Culpeper, do they have any more timeouts this half?
Well, I think they've called, you get 3, right? I think they've called 2.
So, you've got that timeout in your back pocket.
Steve, they've got 1 showing on the scoreboard remaining.
Yep.
And King George has all 3 of theirs. Don't know if we'll have to use any or not. Damewood in motion. They give it to Vineyard. Riley Vineyard doing his best he can to try to pick up some yardage, but it's tough going with all these blue jerseys coming his way. And he picked up 1 yard, got to the 8, 2nd down and goal, clock running 20 seconds to play here in the first half. Okay, here's Johnson. Rolls to his right. Looks downfield. Into the end zone. This one incomplete. And let's see who they intended. Oh, that was intended for Garrett Damewood.
Now you got
off his hands.
You got 11.9 seconds here. Now it's third down.
And Steve, you have 2 opportunities here to try to get it into the end zone.
Well, 2, yeah, because you got the timeout. So you're going to have to, running it, it's going to be tough. I would say you're going to have to throw it in there. And this is where you want to get your big receivers like Caleb Green, somebody, or Joe Holland, Charlie Holland rather, throw it up and let them go get it.
You got Caleb Green, you've got Holland, you've got Damewood,
Shiflett,
Jossie Shiflett. He's in the game, lined up on that right side, tight end position. And here's Johnson. Rolls to his right. Looks. Got a receiver. No, incomplete. And that was intended for Jossie Shiflett, Steve. We just mentioned him. And it looked like it was it catchable?
It looked like it was. I think it just bounced off him.
It wasn't a bad throw. It didn't look like a bad throw from my angle. But here is fourth down now. And
now, would you go with a field goal to get points on the board? 3 ain't going to do you any good. But, no, they're going to try to go for it.
I think you have to go for the touchdown, don't you?
Yeah, because they get the ball to start second half. So maybe a little inkling of momentum.
But now you only have the one opportunity here to score because it's fourth down. And you need 8 yards to cross that.
I think what's going to happen, it looks like he's going to call, Coach Sherry's going to call timeout here.
Well, they do. They use their last one.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I like about the scoreboard, Steve, is that this one does show you how many timeouts each team has and has remaining. So in this case, Culpeper has used its final timeout. King George has 3. They probably won't need them. But you can't carry them over, can you?
No, you can't. Can't stockpile them. You wish you could. Oh, I didn't use my 2 in the first half, so now I got 5.
Yeah. Defer the usage until the second half. Well, it doesn't really work that way, does it?
Nope. And just like this, King George is going to pin their ears back here. They're going to cover tight. I think you got to sort of maybe like a slant pass, a quick hitter, and, make sure the receiver cuts in front of that linebacker and see if they can get the ball to him.
I'm just a feeling, it seems to me like Dalton Butler could factor into this mix. Let's see. I think it's too far to try to run it in 8 yards.
Yeah.
You got to go to the pass, as you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Johnson. He is throwing. And this was intended for Butler and nearly picked off.
It was nearly picked out. Now you got 2.5 seconds.
They turn it over on downs. Well, they tried, didn't they?
Now, King George, what they'll probably do is just take a knee and get out of here. It's halftime. But you got Culpeper down. Don't be surprised if they try to unleash the long one like they did that 93-yarder.
Well, if you're handing the ball off and your running back runs 92 yards for a touchdown, that's on the defense.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, that is on the defense. Dylan Koch, the quarterback, rather than being under center, stays in the pistol formation there. And he's going to take a knee. And that's going to be the end of the first half with our score. King George 46, Culpeper nothing. The 2 teams will go to the locker rooms for intermission. Enjoy the break. We'll come back for the third quarter kickoff when the time comes. Keep it right here. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF.
Well, the bad news is it's been all King George. And Steve Peacock, as I looked over our first half notes, you probably won't be surprised to learn that King George had the ball on 7 possessions, and they scored all 7 times.
I'm not surprised.
3 by the ground game and 4 touchdown passes. And one of the things that really stood out is this breakaway speed that this team has.
I agree, Mark. The speed is killing Culpeper, and basically they can turn it on at from offense. They can turn it on by the pass or by the run. And now, like I said, start second half, it's going to be a running clock because Culpeper's down by more than 35 points. So it's going to be interesting to see how King George is going to transition from their starters to the reserves and see what Culpeper is going to do. But Culpeper is going to wants to try at least score something tonight, not get out here with a big 0.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, Steve, you've done some head coaching, particularly soccer in the past. What do you? I mean, if you're down 46-0 at the intermission, what do you tell your team to try to? You
can say, look, we can't bring back the past. With the past to say we played lousy in the first half, so we're not, probably not going to win the game. But let's show some effort and let's show some fight, and hold your head high and make them respect you. Because right now, King George doesn't respect the Blue Devils. They know they can go on any part of the field in 4 downs and score and move the chains. Mm-hmm. Whereas Culpeper hasn't found that confidence, and that's another thing I think. He might see him give you some confidence if they can get back on the scoreboard. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the play.
And one of the things too is that not just 7 scores off 7 possessions, but 2 of those were tremendously long runs. I mean, where you don't see that very often.
No, you don't.
Well, Christian Newsom had quite a workout for his leg there in that first half. He kicks off. This is going to be fielded inside the 20-yard line. Out to about the 35 is number 16, Tyler Clablow. Now, we had a couple updates on our roster that we didn't know about coming into the game. We were advised at the half that Gavin Alvarado is wearing jersey number 20 tonight, and I've been calling mistakenly Richard Cannon's name. And then Markel Reed, who's on the roster, is number 78, is actually wearing number 77. So to my knowledge, those hopefully are the only roster changes that we weren't privy to when we started the game. All right, but you mentioned that continuously running clock, Steve, so we really have to sort of pay attention here as this game's going to get away from us as Riley Vineyard gets the first down handoff, and he gets maybe a yard on the play. And again, a lot of blue jerseys there. You mentioned they get to the ball quickly, and they play some disciplined defense.
They do that, and they're in the right position every time. So we'll see. I'm just going to see if they got Joseph in. It looks like at the quarterback.
Oh, number 1, Riley Lentz.
Yeah, because I see Joseph, I think, on the sideline, shirt off.
Okay, Here's the pitch. This is coming to Garrett Danewood, near side. He makes the cut, turns upfield. Pretty good run for Garrett Danewood. He'll be maybe a yard shy of a Blue Devil first down.
But it's going to come back holding against the Blue Devils.
And Steve, with this continuously running clock, I've got to get through our sponsor list, and I'll tell you that localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com.
Now, the clock does stop for our viewing audience. It does stop on penalties, official timeouts, and team timeouts. Mm-hmm. But incompletions, clock still runs. Goes out of bounds on a running play, clock still runs.
And that really does make for a really fast-paced, quick fast-moving clock, and it kind of gets away from you. Well, it's second down. Ball now at the 26, and this clock is running, and we're going to be saying that probably frequently tonight.
Yeah.
Watch this time tick off.
See, I don't think they'll be bringing Jeremiah in. They don't want to risk getting hurt.
Raleigh Vineyard, no, yep. Raleigh Vineyard, the ball carrier. He's got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. There's just too many blue jerseys out there.
Yeah, they're just coming all the time, and they all fly to the football. And basically, if I was the coach, I would tell my players, look, guys, you played an embarrassing first half. Let's show some fight, and let's show some, gumption here, some grit. Let's try to see if we can put some plays together.
I think you're alluding to BDP.
Yeah,
Blue Devil Pride.
Or Blue Devil Pride.
You're going to show the pride. Okay. Well, number one on my roster is Riley Lentz. And Lentz wants to throw. Downfield he goes. Dalton Butler trying to bring it in one-handed. He got a little bit of separation that time for the defender, Steve. Just couldn't quite bring it in.
And Lentz he had, again, too much air under the football, allowed for the defenders to get, make a play on the ball.
And just like you pointed to a minute ago, incomplete pass doesn't stop that clock. It's running at 9:09 to play. All right. Here's the kick. This is going to be a short one. Let's check the bounce. It will take somewhat of a Blue Devil roll, and they're going to down it at about the 47. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air at 718-7556. All right, King George on offense for the first time here in the third quarter, and they've got so much cushion. They'll feel really good about themselves right now.
Yeah, they're taking their time, waiting for the play.
Yeah,
they're going to use up every minute of it. I don't blame them.
Well, Dylan Koch, the starting quarterback, remains in the game, as does Simeon Battle. He had that long touchdown run. Number 4 in motion, and Hudson Callahan, and Callahan gets the ball. Stiff arms Raleigh Vineyard, or tries to, but Vineyard slings him down to the ground for the loss on the play.
Yeah,
this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. At 540-547-3673. Steve had to cut in on that because his clock will keep running. I want to get those spots in.
Yeah, and again, Raleigh Vineyard just made the tackle. He's a football player.
He really is. And they have a few of those like that. I mean, we've been impressed with quite a few of their players. You think Garrett Damewood, Caleb Green, for example. You mentioned Raleigh Vineyard. There's more. But they have hurt tonight in the speed department. King George has really hurt them there. Yeah. And it looks like the running back that time was it number 30? Couldn't see who that was. I got a couple of changes. Oh, it was number 30. It was Jordan Washington.
And number 21 for Culpeper linebacker spot made the tackle.
Tyler McKnight.
Yeah.
All right, so 47. It is third down and 15. Back to the run they go. This is a dangerous Simeon Battle. He's in the open field. He ran out of real estate as Caleb Green tackled him out of bounds. But again, Simeon Battle was off to the races, Steve.
I mean, he was like shot out of a cannon, Mark, and he ran through a big hole. It would have been 6 if it wasn't for Caleb Green. They basically, using the sideline as an extra defender and forced him out of bounds.
Picked up 15 yards and a first down for King George, right when they had him third and long, but Simeon Battle was able to break free and pick up good yardage for another King George first down here. This is their only possession so far in the third quarter, but we're about midway through it with this continuously running clock. And Simeon Battle stays in the backfield. He gets the handoff. Here he goes. Gets away from the pack. Now he's racing down the far sidelines. And looks like he's into the end zone from 32 yards out. I'm looking for a penalty flag. Do you see any?
No, do not.
All right, well, it's touchdown King George. Simeon Battle, his second touchdown run of the night. That makes it 52-0. And the route continues.
And then they just got a flag on the coach over here at the injured player. And the coach came on the field and probably said something, and the official just.
Oh, you got a Blue Devil player
Yeah.
down. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pick that up. Well, I can't pick out his number.
Man, the head ref threw the flag, so we'll see what the.
So what do you think the infraction is?
Coach coming on the field and saying something to the ref because the injured player was already injured. It wasn't any type of, it was a good kid just got run over. But I can't say who the number is. But a flag came out. You can see it right there. And way after the play was, gone. And we'll see who the player is. I can't quite.
No, because he's on the ground. I haven't seen a glimpse of the number. Clock stopped, 6:04 to play here in this third quarter. Touchdown stands is 52-0.
It'll probably be assessed on a kickoff.
Henry Wolf out there, athletic trainer. Steve, do you realize that Henry Wolf took over this position 21 years ago?
Wow. Yeah.
Said he started in 2003. He's been used the word mainstay for this.
It's here my daughter
Culpeper.
graduated from Culpeper.
03?
Mm-hmm.
I remember, and I remember her playing days in soccer.
Yeah, in 06. In
Yeah.
field hockey, she played both.
Now, back then, I remember, I was writing for the Star Exponent starting in 98. She was playing. Vic Crone was the coach.
Right.
Whatever happened to him?
He moved to Maryland, Havre de Grace, up above Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that was back 2004, 2005, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
He moved back, and so I've lost contact. They're bringing out a stretcher.
Oh, bringing out a stretcher. That's never a good sign, is
This
it?
is not a good sign. Can't still make out who the player is.
Well, why don't we take a break and come back when action resumes? There's not much we can do at this point. All right? Take a break and come back.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors. LocalSportsHistory.com. Contribute today at LocalSportsHistory.com.
CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200.
Able Heating and Air, 718-7556. Battlefield Automotive, 547-3673. Found & Sons, 825-3530.
Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. So I gave you the update there on that Eastern View score as well. And, okay, here's an update from my friend Eddie Daniels, Steve. He lives down in Orange. At the half, Louisa 24, Orange 20.
Woo, close than you thought.
He told me also King George is winning. I didn't know that. I'm just kidding. He also gave me the score of the Pulaski-Salem game. And Pulaski has been a nemesis of Salem for years and years. They're up 33-21 over Salem. But Louisa and Orange is a game that intrigues us because these are local schools and they play each other. And Louisa, let's see, they're Class 4. Where do we have Orange now? Are they 4? I can't remember.
Yeah, they're Class 5, but them and Alma are allowed to compete in for the Class 4 district. But when they get to playoff time, they both bump up.
Okay. Well, here's the kickoff this time now from the Culpeper 45. So obviously that meant that there was a penalty against the Blue Devils that they assessed on the kickoff. An easy touchback here. And so the Blue Devils come back on the field, but
Yeah, it was a dead ball foul, unfortunately.
Okay.
The coach came.
from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, you can see, getting back to Orange and Louisa. Louisa will go in. They're also a Division V team now, and they will go in and play with the Division V schools in Richmond.
I didn't realize that Louisa had been bumped up to
Yep.
Class 5. Wow. But I don't know if that's a disadvantage or advantage because, this Region 4B has been just,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Class 4 has had some awfully good teams in it. Here's Lentz. He throws out there to Gavin Alvarado. Now, Gavin Alvarado, I was advised, is not wearing jersey number 7 tonight. He's wearing 20. And he picked up 8 yards on that play. And again, the clock runs. They're not stopping it unless you have an injury.
Or an official timeout or a regular timeout.
And both teams have their full 3 timeouts in this second half remaining. And again, the clock continues to run. We're under 5 minutes here in the third. Blue Devils go to the run. Straight ahead is the ball carrier there, number 25, Caleb Jenkins.
Yeah.
He's out to up the 34-yard line. That'll be should be a first down for them, Steve.
Yep.
No. That's why it's not a first down. They had a penalty flag down. Illegal shift. Cost them 5 yards.
And the clock stops on that. Then the clock will start once the official gives the signal. There he goes.
Second down and 7 from the 23. Riley Lentz in there at quarterback position. Got Caleb Jenkins on his flank. Here's the pitch coming this way to number 24, Christian Smith. Smith breaks through the pack. He's still on his feet. Down the near sidelines. There goes Smith. And where did he come from? Into the end zone from 77 yards out, unless there's a penalty flag down. And if you don't see a penalty flag, I think I know what you're going to say next.
Touchdown, Blue Devils. And I never saw that coming, but a great run by Smith. Right down, replay. Look at this.
You want to see that one again for sure.
Just a straight handoff play, and he got that crease, and he just took off and outran everybody on King George. So
looked like they had him bottled up momentarily, but he broke out of the pack, and then he came down the near sidelines, and he showed us some speed. And so Culpeper is on the board after that 77-yard touchdown run. It's 52-6 with 4:12 to play here in the third.
Now who's going to take over for Uribe? Doesn't he kick?
No, Saul Acevedo has been handling that for them. We've seen Uribe on defense this year. The holder here, Riley Lentz. There's a snap, the hold, and Acevedo's kick is up and good. All right, Blue Devils on the scoreboard, Steve. 52-7.
Yep, that gets them off the schneid.
Yeah, haven't heard that term for a while.
No, but they came out and showed some pride in trying to avenge something for make sure that Uribe is going to get better, and they wanted to basically come out and score for him, I think.
Well, who's to say that you're wrong? I mean, you get the word to him, hey, your teammates just scored, they're on the board. It gives you a little bit of encouragement there.
It does. So,
and as we pointed out, Johnny got the word that, he was taken off as more of a precautionary measure, that R.J. Uribe does have feeling in his limbs. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, anytime you deal with a head injury, you got to err on the side of caution. Now, let's see if Culpeper defense can rise to the occasion and get the ball back. Still going to be a running clock, but.
Well, simply said, it seems like at this juncture, you just want to try to glean as much positive as you can from a game that got out of control early on. Here's Acevedo's kickoff. This one's going to be fielded inside the 15-yard line. And Return man there is Simeon Battle. Watch out. Here comes Battle. And they finally force him out of bounds after a huge return. Looks like it's all the way down to the Culpeper 42-yard line.
Yep. And
so King George goes back on offense. Clock has stopped here as now it resumes.
yep.
And I'll tell you, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200.
I mean, I don't think we're going to see Jeremiah Johnson, quarterback. You know, he's had his pads off. He's battling an injury, so that's what we'll go with Lentz the rest of the way.
Well, see, we got a quarterback change in there for King George as the ball carrier hit after a 2-yard pickup. Let's see. Let's see if we can pick that up. So Dylan Koch, the starter, is out. And let's see. I
think it's number 22, Mark.
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's Parker J.
And, you know, why not get him some reps here?
Well,
you never know as the season wears on. So,
well, not only that, if you didn't do it now, when would you?
exactly.
You know, obviously you're up 45 points in the third quarter in the continuously running clock. You're going to have to get your reserves in for sure. So 22 is the new quarterback, and that's Parker J. And he hands off to, I believe it was Johnson. No, it was number 7 this time. This is Amari Moss. First time we mentioned his name. But again, you figure that King George will certainly go to its bench now and empty it if they can. Big number 77 coming in there. He's a load, Steve.
He sure is.
That's Markel Reed.
You can't move him out of there.
He plays over the nose of that football. You got some other players in there, names and numbers likely we haven't called, including number 99, Jaden Livingstone. And again, the new quarterback for King George, Parker J., and he's handing off to Moss. Here goes Moss trying to get to the edge. He was slung down. Riley Vineyard, Caleb Green combined for the tackle. There's a penalty flag on the field as well.
We got a flag here on the field. It's probably going to be hold against King George. Let's see what the call is. If I was Culpeper, decline it. Let's see what the penalties will stop the clock. Ooh.
Personal foul.
Oh,
against Culpeper.
That's bad news. That's a dead ball.
Did you see it on the tackle?
No.
I didn't really see that. I thought he had him by the jersey and he slung him to the ground.
Yeah, but it was thrown over here. So
so it was away from the ball.
Away from the ball.
Yeah.
So it was probably some extracurricular activity between King George and Culpeper player over here near sideline, about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, they walk off 15 yards. And it puts the ball all the way down to the Culpeper 22-yard line.
And you're not going to tell your second unit not to score. You know, they're going to you're not going to see too much passing, but they're going to work in that running game.
Well, you're going to see some new numbers in there. We've already mentioned the quarterback is now 22, Parker J. Number 9, Xavier Pryor. Top of your screen, wide receiver. In the backfield, Amari Moss. He gets the call. He breaks the tackle. He's in the open field. Watch out. Moss cut down just shy of the goal line, down at about the 2 or the 3-yard line. And that's your point, Steve. You put your reserve players in, they have to play too.
Yes, they do.
They have to play full throttle. You can't do it any other way.
And he's brought down by number 20 for Culpeper.
All right, well, that's Gavin Alvarado. He ordinarily wears jersey number 7. All right, so he's down at the 2-yard line. Pick up a 20 yards that time by the running back, Moss, Amari Moss. He gets the call again. There goes Moss. He's looking into the end zone. He's in from 2 yards out. And King George now makes it 56-7 with 51 seconds to play here in this fast-moving third quarter.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's Culpeper is going to be going back home licking their wounds, so to speak. But they have to regroup. They got a game a very winnable game coming up next week. They got Chancellor, correct?
Well, let's take a look at Culpeper's schedule and see what's in store for them. So after tonight, they are home next week to Chancellor in a game that you feel like Culpeper has a good chance to winning.
Yep.
And then the following week, they're home to the new school in Harrisonburg known as Rocktown.
The Raptors.
The Raptors. The Rocktown Raptors. And that'll be Military Appreciation Night at Broman Field, Steve.
Yep.
And then after that, November 1st, the Blue Devils will play at James Monroe and then close out the regular season at home on November 8th to Spotsylvania.
And they had to back this kicker point after because of legal assist by a King George player.
Bad snap. They're going to have to pounce on this one. But again, in the scheme of things, that just does not matter, does it?
Well, that's the only thing that's been really not working for King George tonight is the point after attempts.
Yeah, and that's a great point because you get into the season, and particularly in the postseason, those things will hurt you. Now tonight, no effect. But if you're the coach, you say, well, obviously we're going to be working on the with our long snapper and our holder.
Yep.
But you got to give your holder a good snap.
You got to give him a good snap because if you're not, you mess up the timing of the whole play.
Yeah. So 51.3 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Each team with full set of timeouts. 58-7 our score. If you haven't been to King George, they've got this. I don't know when this stadium was built, but our memories go back to what it used to be when they used to play over in the pit.
Yeah, this is probably about 10 years old.
And they're very proud of it, and for good reason. It's a beautiful field. It's a great press box. You have great elevation. You get a great view up here.
Don't have to worry about picking rocks out of the field before the game starts.
Well, that was a story you were telling on the way here about some of your memories at King George.
Yeah, they had to, go out and pick up rocks.
Well, you know what? If you don't get those rocks picked up, it's going to be a very painful practice or game. All right, watch out. Here's Smith again on the return, breaking tackles. And there he goes again. Where did this guy come from, Steve?
I don't know. But
it's a kickoff return for a touchdown unless you see some dirty laundry, yellow laundry on the field.
Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Christian Smith.
Where has he been?
Where has he been?
I mean, I guess find him a spot on that roster. He's just like shot out of a cannon.
And he's got both Blue Devil touchdowns. And our score is 58-13. But where was the coverage on that? I mean, I don't think he's slow. He seems fast enough, but he's not the fastest guy I've seen out there tonight.
He outran everybody.
He's outrun the defenders twice for touchdowns here.
Now, you could say because they had their second string in, but
it's still a lot of land to cover to get into the end zone of a kickoff return. Yeah, here's the hold. It's down, and Acevedo's kick is up and good. So 58-14 our score here in the third quarter with 33 seconds remaining.
So it's good to see Culpeper get, both by Smith. He's going to have almost 200 yards rushing on basically 2 plays.
Well,
over 100 easily.
We had the 77-yard run for touchdown, and then he had the kickoff return there.
For how far long was the kickoff?
Well, let's see. Where did he? I'm not sure.
Said 93, was it?
Well, no. I don't think he fielded it at the 7, did he?
No, I think he fielded around the 20.
Yeah, so roughly an 80-yard return.
Well, 80 and 77, so, I mean, 157 yards, two plays.
Combined yards, yeah. Mm-hmm. Total yards, yeah.
And I think that got King George's attention a little bit, but where has he been? I'd be sitting there going, the coaching staff next week in practice, he needs to touch the football.
Well, it's certainly a bright spot in a game that's been so dominated by King George. And, Steve, they dominated early and often because, we said as we started the third quarter from those the halftime notes that in that first half, King George possessed the ball 7 times, and they scored 7 times.
7 times.
And a couple of those were just really long gainers. I mean, he just, that just sort of break the heart of the defense.
I don't know what the delay is here.
Well,
I think King George didn't have enough players.
I think part of this, this game in contrast to what we've seen this season and last season has been played really with pretty good rhythm, not as many stoppages as we've seen in other games.
Right. I don't know what the stoppage is here.
Yeah, this is kind of hard to figure out. Both teams appear to be set. And I know King George has 11 players out there. And I'm counting Culpeper. And here's their kick. This one dropped, but pounced on, recovered by number 14, Cash Cunningham.
All right.
I tried to count Culpeper's players, Steve. I counted them twice, and I could have sworn I counted 12.
Really?
I said, maybe I'm just seeing things. I counted, you were looking at the delay, and we had that late substitution. It was number 44 coming in for King George, and that was Alex Price. And I thought, well, they're all set. So I started counting the Foxes. I counted 11 Foxes. And I started counting the Blue Devils. I could have sworn I counted 12, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
All right, well, that sound signals the end of the quarter. We've played 3 here at King George, where it's been all Foxes. Our score of 58-14 in favor of King George. We'll take a quick break, come back for the 4th and final segment right after this. Keep it right here. You're watching Blue Devils football on the Culpeper Media Network.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF.
All right, well, welcome back to our broadcast and to the start of the 4th quarter. And we're, tonight here at King George, it's been all Foxes. We're back on offense after that kickoff return by Blue Devils Christian Smith. 2 touchdowns tonight in this 58-14 King George rout.
And a rout it is. But Culpeper showing some life with 2 big runs by Christian Smith.
And so, seen a lot of substitution for the Foxes. Parker J., the quarterback, hands off to Moss, the running back. Moss picks up good yardage all the way out to the Blue Devil 40, about 14 yards on the play.
And he's quick, too. That's another quick back.
Well, they certainly seem to have their share of quick players, don't they?
They sure do. And they got a decent offensive line. I mean, the offensive line, this is probably their second string, but their offensive line, give them credit. They control the whole game against Culpeper's defensive line.
Steve, can this game, from a King George perspective, be sort of a coach's delight in the sense that you had such a huge cushion that here, in the second half, you can really, if the idea is to get your players playing time, really empty that bench.
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity because you never know. This next man stepped up mentality. If one of your starters goes down, you want to make sure that his backup has had some playing time during the season.
All right. Well, localsportshistory.com is the community sports site that you are building organically. Check out local sports information or contribute your submissions at localsportshistory.com.
Like I said, King George is not going to be in any hurry. They're just going to let this thing run down.
And they've got the reserve players in there. We mentioned number 22, the quarterback Parker J. Amari Moss has had his share of carries. Now this time there's a bad exchange between quarterback and running back, but Moss pounces on it to keep possession for King George. And this broadcast brought to you in part by Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. Able Heating and Air, 718-7556.
And Culpeper is letting their reserves play too. Because you look at the defensive secondary, no Caleb Green, no couple other boys. You don't see Riley Vineyard in there.
Yeah, we've got certainly some new players in there for the Blue Devils as well. They go back to Moss, and the Blue Devils, number 62, is a Blue Devil whose name and number is not on the current roster that we have.
22 was in on the play as well.
22 is listed as Mason Elkins. 21, Tyler McKnight. He's sort of gone the distance for them tonight. 25 is listed as Caleb Jenkins. Big number 77. There's a guy that really takes up some space. Playing over the nose of that football is Markel Reed.
Now, look who's back returning for Culpeper. Smith again.
Well, you know what? This is the first time King George has punted tonight. They've never needed to punt the football until just now. It's a low snap. Friendly bounce for that punter. He gets it away. It's a nice kick. And Smith will get out of the way of it, and they'll down it inside the 20-yard line.
And now see what Culpeper can do offensively. And you basically give your reserves some chance to work as well. And like I said, Chancellor next week for Culpeper. It should be an easier game. Chancellor, now I think Chancellor did beat Spotsylvania last week. So.
Yeah, I didn't see that score. There was a time when Chancellor had an awfully good team. You remember Bob Oliver coaching them for years. And one of the first years we got into broadcasting, I think it was 98 or I guess it was 98 was the first year, but I think Culpeper played Chancellor down there.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran the wishbone to perfection, and a quarterback's last name was Barnes. I think Chancellor may have won that game that we saw, but they were really good under Bob Oliver all those years.
Look, there he goes.
All right, well, this is number 16. That's Tyler Clablow, according to my roster. But who knows, Steve?
Yeah.
These number changes.
Well, they're also, too, you guys understand, they're running against the second string of King George. So you're going to see, some gains here. And Culpeper, I think, has gotten, I don't see you see Lentz in there, but I don't see any other than Smith.
Well, some new names are number 14, Keyshawn Tyler to the left, wide receiver. Jaden Carter, top of your screen. This one snapped before the quarterback was looking.
Yeah, it's going to be offsides against Culpeper. It's going to be illegal.
Yeah, the illegal procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Mark it off 5 yards. Down back to the 27.
And then the clock will start on the ref signal. There it goes.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that gets away from it. So number 12, top of your screen, Jaden Carter. Bottom of your screen, number 14, Keyshawn Tyler. Smith in motion. A handoff. This is number 25, Caleb Jenkins. Across the 30 to the 31. Picked up 4. Clock will continue to run. And I'll tell you, this broadcast brought to you in part by Battlefield Automotive, featuring Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford. Battlefield Automotive, a keystone of service and a cornerstone of our community. 540-547-3673.
Now I want to see if Culpeper will attempt to pass. Here, we'll see.
All right, here's the snap. Lentz throwing near side. Got his receiver, and this is number 14, Keyshawn Tyler. His first catch of the night. He got across the 35 out to about the 38. 7-yard pickup.
And we got a flag on the field here. Down back.
How do you compare, we don't get a chance really to keep stats as we're calling the game. We don't have a statistician, but Where do you think we are in terms of penalty yards? I don't think anywhere near what we had last week.
No, I don't think so either. This is just, see what the call is here. Personal foul against Culpeper.
Wow.
You can't.
Well, you get the personal foul on offense, Steve. Isn't that a little unusual?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was like, look, I understand you're upset and everything with the big, with the score, but you just gotta let it go.
Action away from the ball. Didn't see what occurred.
Well, they didn't put it in the bubble and let it float away, though, did they?
No, they did not. Well, that's what you were counseling me to do last week, and I told you about that long-term grudge I have. How dare you go on strike? I ain't never forgiven you.
Winston since 1994.
Yeah, it was 30 years ago.
Still carrying it along.
Carrying it around.
With some extra weight.
I was talking about, referring to my disdain for Major League Baseball for that strike in '94. Okay, you lost me. Well, 30 years later, still holding the grudge. Here's Christian Smith breaking a couple of tackles. Get some of that lost yardage back out to about the 30. And it's unfortunate, Steve, because the team that I always pulled for is in the playoffs.
Yeah. And now it's a 4th down. Is Culpeper going to go for it, I think, or are they going to try to punt it?
Well, they're bringing in sort of substitutions that would make you think they're going to punt this ball away. But I don't know if there's I guess you do punt it away here.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically inviting King George to come in and score again if you don't.
Yeah, it is 4th down and 17. You pretty much have to do it. Looks like Acevedo is in there. He is. Puncher and kicker. Here's his kick. High kick. Not a bad one. This one will not be fielded, and it will take a very friendly Blue Devil roll all the way down to inside the – well, I think they're blowing on it. Yeah. They're trying – like a birthday candle,
Curling. Curling.
Or maybe it's like a bowling ball. Let's see if we can a little air to it. And it did a nice Blue Devil roll all the way down to inside the King George 25-yard line. So you figured that if the line of scrimmage is 25, so if he kicked it from the 18-yard line, Steve, and he got it down to the 23?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, that's about a 60-yard kick with that very healthy roll. Hand off Moss. Straight ahead he goes for a couple. Big thing with King George, Steve, they just want to run this clock out. But they got the reserve players in, so many new names and numbers. Number 13, Noah Miller. Number 30 is Jordan Washington. He's played some. But 22, the backup quarterback, Parker J. What a nice job the starting quarterback, Dylan Koch, did for King George here tonight. Didn't have any picks. I didn't see him make any mistakes. And they didn't get any pressure on him.
No, they didn't. Culpeper, he had a very good outing.
Really did. And after this play, here's Parker J. Keeps it. Got away from the first defender, and then he dived forward to about the 33-yard line, making the tackle there, number 62 for Culpeper. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by Found & Sons, more than a respected funeral home. They support youth at all levels so they can become tomorrow's leaders. Found & Sons, 825-3530. And that clock continues to run, approaching that 3-minute mark. And we'll tell you that get to the other spot after this play.
See if they give it to the running back Moss, and then you can say he got mossed.
You too can get mossed, see? Yeah, isn't that about how it goes?
Yeah.
Look at big number 77 in there for the Blue Devils. He's just deciding that this push will not take place.
Yeah,
I'm pushing you back the other way, says Markel Reed. Well, this broadcast brought to you in part by CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home Center, 825-2200. Both teams have their full timeouts of 3 each. Will they use them? We don't know. But it seems like a moot point. Ball at the 36. Moss, the ball carrier, and he ran into Blue Devil defender there. We'll pick up the number. It's 63. You have him, Steve?
No.
Yeah, don't have him either. What is it with these roster changes?
They do it every week. I mean, it's either, if it isn't Culpeper, it's Eastern View. The phantom numbers or phantom players just going to get in the game.
Yeah, well, this one was printed today. Oh, well. What are you going to do? What can you do?
What can you do?
All right, now from the 40-yard line, 3rd and 4. Clock running. You see the time remaining in this one. Parker J. and Moss here, this Amari Moss, they've had their share of reps here in this 4th quarter. Good playing time for these King George reserve players.
Yeah, they're getting 4th and 2. I don't see them. Oh, they're going to punt it.
Well, for the second time in this game, but you know, the way their offense executed, particularly in that first half, they didn't need a punter.
Now their punter is what, number 18 or number 6?
I think the guy who handles the both the punting and kicking duties is the one in the same Christian Newsom, number 18.
Yeah.
And this clock continues to run, Steve, and they'll take their time. There may be time for, well, maybe we may have a timeout. No, it's delay of game against King George. Talk about taking your time. I guess they took too much, literally.
Yeah, see, now, the problem, though, is, you know, you're still going to have to punt it. You can't, you know, walk off the field. I know because it's a penalty now, the clock's starting again.
Yeah.
They continue to get delay of game penalties.
Well, you know, I think it's actually, here's a high snap. Punter gets it down. Here's his kick.
Good punt.
Yeah, it is. This one caught or fielded by number 16, Tyler Claplaw. And we're down to 17 seconds to play in this one.
It's just been an old-fashioned butt whooping.
Well,
give credit to King George. They did a good job. I mean, they came out to play.
Well, you knew coming in that this was going to be a very tough task for Culpeper.
Yep.
And we looked at that common opponent and how both teams had done against Cortland. Cortland was a big 34-0 winner over Culpeper. And then, you know, if you're King George, they beat Cortland last week 41-20. Throwing the ball downfield, looking for an open receiver, almost caught. This one intended for number 16, Tyler Claplaw.
And that's going to be it.
And that's the way it was, or that's the way it is. With our final score from King George, it's the Foxes 58, the Blue Devils 14. Would it be corny to say the Foxes were rabid tonight?
Yep, they were. Foxy.
They were foxy. Let's just be corny and have a good time. Players shake hands now. Steve, once again, enjoyed calling the game with you tonight. It was all King George, particularly in that first half. 7 possessions, 7 scores, 3 by the rush, 4 by the pass. Quarterback Dylan Koch was virtually flawless.
Right.
And they got the big play game makers in, unleashed them, used their speed, and Culpeper just couldn't keep pace.
No, they couldn't. They just didn't have the athletes to match up with King George. But we had some bright spots. The Smith kid, he kickoff return and a nice run on a handoff right up the middle. And so, hey, maybe they can build around him, starting with Chancellor. And like I said, I think they'll match up better with Chancellor, and so they can get back on the winning track. Okay,
so next week is October 18th, and we'll be back in action. Will we see Eastern View or Culpeper? I can't remember.
We're going to be at Eastern View.
All right, so next week, fans, we will see Eastern View at home taking on Spotsylvania. Once again, our final score from King George, it's the Foxes 58, the Blue Devils 14. For Johnny and Steve, I'm Mark O'Connell saying thanks for watching and supporting Blue Devils football here on the Culpeper Media Network. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next time. So long.
This broadcast is made possible by the generosity of our community sponsors.
Able Heating and Air, answering any and all questions you may have about your HVAC system. There's peace of mind knowing they are able to keep your home comfortable. CFC Farm and Home Center, supplying your lawn and garden, pet, and farm needs since 1932. Hometown pricing and outstanding service at CFC Farm and Home. Found in Sons Funeral Home, Culpeper's perpetual best of the best for resources, planning, and support for our entire community. Battlefield Toyota, Chevrolet, and Ford, proudly serving the Culpeper community for over 20 years. State-of-the-art service departments and over 22 acres with hundreds of new and pre-owned vehicles. Battlefield Automotive. Nominations are now being accepted for the local area sports Hall of Fame. Nominate anyone that you feel is deserving of historical local sports recognition at localsportshistory.com/HOF.